Dear brothers and sisters, queridísimos hermanos y hermanas, bien chers frères et sœurs, liebe Brüder und Schwestern,
Дорогие братья и сестры, 亲爱的兄弟姊妹们
fratelli e sorelle carissimi, habemus
Dixo proudly presents the ApeCoin DAO WG Steward Elections 07-2024 with candidate.
My name is Kevin. I go by OX4 Dev, and I've been in the community for a little over a year now, in the BAYC community and in the Web3 space for a few years. Outside of Web3, I've been a software engineer for a little over 12 years now, and I've led different teams on projects. I've worked at startup companies, tech startups, and I've had a passion for helping others, and it's translated through to the development work that I do and contributing to the community. So in the community, I've really kind of found my place here and helping others. And it's kind of, I mean, honestly, what I enjoy doing. I've worked on many different projects and helped out community members on their projects. And it's gone really well. And I love making those connections. And for me, outside of this, I have a wife and 3 kids and a dog, and family time is super important to me. So I'm here in the space all the time. I give a lot of my time to Web3 because I believe in the blockchain and what it stands for and what it can do for others. And that's a sacrifice I've been making, but I try and spend a lot of time with my family outside of this as well. So that's also really important to me.
Can you tell us why you're running for Web3 Steward?
Yeah, so I'm running for Web3 Development Stewardship. It's a new position within the ApeCoin DAO proposed by WebMoss. It was a great proposal. I think it's going to be really crucial to the DAO, especially with ApeChain coming out. I think we're all really excited about ApeChain and what it can do, not only for the DAO, but for the community and builders in general. I think it's going to be very powerful, and we need to get everybody on board and excited. And I think for this position, for me, it's a fantastic opportunity to help the community, help others, and be able to, help other people build and do some really cool things. And I fully plan on taking advantage of it and using ApeChain for some of my projects. I think we're all really excited about it. So this is going to be a great opportunity to do that. And I think the DAO really needs this position. And I've seen in the community a lot of exclusion, I would say, or I don't want to say divided, but I have seen some of that. And I think that we need to unite and come together. And moving forward, we're only going to do that if we work together. And we have to figure out how to do that. And I hope that this position can also encourage, different communities to work together. And that's really one of my goals in this position.
How do you perceive working together with other members if this is a decentralized organization? How does a hierarchy work in this as a steward?
I think as a steward, it's important to work with the other working groups and special counsel. And I think together we're able to kind of help each other, right? Because there are things that I don't have experience with or the knowledge of. For example, I've heard in different spaces, Layla talking about marketing and different things that she is so good at, which I have no experience in. But I can bring in the builders and the developers and tell them how cool it is and show them the way. But what happens after that? And that's where you rely on the other positions and you come together and they kind of help pick up where, you leave off. And I think that could be the best way for the DAO to work together, is being able to say, hey, I got you this far, but here's a person that can take you the rest of the way and help you succeed. And that's important to know what positions can handle that and do different things for others. And then not only within the DAO, but outside of the DAO, I think it's really important to have a grasp on who is doing what. What I've done lately is work with Horizon Labs. I've worked with other projects that they are working with. I've been building connections. There's other people in the space that I've been talking to, whether it's within Thank Ape and other projects, MBAs, and just communicating with the community, especially Mochaverse, right? That's another huge delegation, and they have a lot going on as well. And how do we work with them to include ApeChain and what they're doing with the Realm network and everything else? Like, you really have to kind of know who all is out there and who can do what, because you're basically the incubator, you're the facilitator to bring everything together, and you have to be that hub for everybody to drive success, I think.
Let me ask you, why did you choose to run for Web3 development and not for special counsel?
Web3 development position is new. And I mean, honestly, it really sparked my interest because of the way it was written by Web Moss. Actually, him and I have very similar backgrounds, and it seems like we have very similar ideas and opinions as well. And I was instantly drawn towards it because of my background and my experience going back to leading teams and development and working on projects. That's what I love doing. So I feel like I would fit this position really well. And it's a chance to connect with the community further and be able to help the community grow. And I'm doing that regardless. And I plan on doing that with or without this position. It's always my goal. So if elected, I'll use my position and listen to the community and really hopefully drive that growth using ApeChain and achieve some really good things with that position. But I think it's a great opportunity.
So you would still be very involved in the DAO if you're not elected?
Yes, absolutely. And I think most of the candidates would be. It's from what I've heard and on the different spaces. Everybody really has a passion for this space, it seems like, and we all just want to help each other and build. And that's honestly what makes this community so amazing.
Okay, and one of the questions that comes up a lot on Spaces is if you're gonna work full time as a steward.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I've heard I'll call it a debate, I guess, or everybody has different opinions, but my take on it is I'm always around. I'm always working. I mean, it doesn't matter the time. I'm always on Spaces. I'm always helping others. I'm always, looking at the forum. And I mean, I would call it a full time, but for me, I would look at it from a development aspect of, if you're a salary employee, you don't have to technically put in, the 40 hours a week. I mean, as long as like in the tech industry, you're getting your work done. I think honestly for Web3 position, as long as you're getting something accomplished and shown, then you're putting in the work. And that's what's really important. But being around all the time, I'm always around. So that to me is like full time, I would say.
And what's your take, since you've been part of the DAO for a long time, what's your take on transparency and accountability?
Yeah, my take on transparency and accountability. I've seen some people upset with the lack of some positions recently, and it's transparency. So it's always important to be transparent and communicate, right? I think that is just absolutely needed. But the reporting, the information available, I think that can be greatly improved without a doubt. Like for me, I wanted to know more about previous AIPs. What has been passed? Who's been voting? What are the numbers like? From a month-to-month basis, what does that look like? And there's no easy way to see that. Also, another example would be, do we have success stories? What are we doing in the DAO? Can we highlight those or showcase those? Do we have a place to maybe have a webpage that shows off and showcases some success stories? Take Meme Brains, this public board. That's a prime example. When I saw a public board on X, I saw a post and I looked at the account and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And I saw the board and everything he was doing with the truck driving around. I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea. No clue that it was actually passed through an AIP and funded by ApeCoin until I started digging into it more. And then you go to the website and he actually has it on his website. He's one of the AIP MBAs that have, this is funded by ApeCoin. I love that. So how do we get that showcased and out there to the people more and build that profile and portfolio up. Oh, look at all these things that we've done and really get it out there. I think that's going to be super important. So transparency, communication, that's definitely going to be important. And then just reporting and analytics, I think, can be greatly improved.
I saw a retweet that you did where you said that 99% of developers are not in Web3. How would you include normies or developers in Web2 and take them to Web3?
For that transition, for that to happen, that onboarding experience, I mean, it's something that I've considered and tackled, and I have my own AIP coming out, and it's something that I hope to actually do with my AIP and be able to not only showcase ApeCoin DAO, but have that onboarding experience. And it's actually a really, really cool experience. If you were to look at AIP 429 with what I do with my product, and it just happens to be a children's book that talks about the blockchain in a magical storybook way and explains it. And when you think about it, a person's going to be reading this book, reading about the blockchain, which they may not know about. But then there's a NFC chip that would be placed in the book and allow a user to pull up a digital collectible. And that's a really cool thing to do. You're seeing that happen with Disney, with digital pins and stuff like that. And it's just a cool thing to have. But little do they know that's an NFT. So not only did they just read about the blockchain, they just collected their very first NFT possibly. And guess what? It's all powered by ApeChain and funded by the ApeCoin DAO. And I hope that they'll see that. And the point is that it's not going to be mass onboarding and instant, most likely. But what it will do is subconsciously get people to think about and realize what's happening. And eventually, once they do enter the space, if they do, they're going to be familiar with ApeCoin logo. And that could be possibly one of their very first currencies that they would look at. And I would hope that we would be able to be a trusted chain, a trusted currency. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I have so many other ideas. And honestly, like I've thought about charities and think, how could we accept donations and send or convert it to ApeCoin and send it to charities? I mean, that would be a really cool way of handling donations. And I've already considered that. So I hope that one day I'll be able to do some of these things with my branding. But I think it's getting the logo out there. I mean, we have the F1 car, like you just talked about. That's going to have impressions. Getting the logo out there, getting the name out there, and then doing really cool stuff with it. And that's what we need to build and drive. The more cool stuff we do, the more people we attract, the more builders, the more that it's going to grow. And we just need it to be the face, that is out there in Web 2. And then people will eventually gradually onboard. And that's my hopes.
So you've been elected for Web3 development and steward, and it's June 2025. Where are you personally, and where is the DAO?
So within the year term, I hope to have a few things accomplished. And there's little things that can be established, whether it's, building up some different tools to help the DAO or different people joining the DAO, whether it's, AIPs to be technical or APIs to be technical, reporting site like I had talked about earlier, just getting better visibility around AIP information, getting that data available and out there for everybody. So definitely around the analytical data part, I would like to definitely improve that and make that available. So if marketing picks up whatever I do and then handles it from there, that would be amazing. But definitely want that to be there and easily available for all to use in a better way. And then just coming in, I think for this position as a developer, I've lived my life working, bi-weekly sprints. So I would honestly take that approach in this position of setting up sprints, is what we would call them, with small goals. Because when you have small goals, you're able to complete those goals and they're not too big. right? So you start to accomplish little things and it'll build up over time. So over that year, hopefully we've funded successfully, 100, 200 AIPs that are building on ApeChain and doing some really cool stuff and really innovative and building up the technology and working with everybody else in the community. And I hope that, that's something that I'm able to, do. So basically, I hope to be judged on how many builders am I attracting? How am I inspiring others? How am I able to help others succeed? Because for me, at the end of the day, that's what I'm going to look at is, did I help others succeed? Did I inspire them? Did I bring them into this space to do something that they want to do and bring back value and, possibly even profit to the DAO? That's what we're looking to do. And I hope to accomplish that. And everything in between, maybe holding spaces, a technical space for a Web3 or developers, and just to attract them, have little conversations about what's going well, what's not. Hackathons would be really cool. I know that's been discussed. And just doing little things like that can attract builders, bring some fun experiences to the DAO. I think that's be about, and I hope to achieve within that year.
So who would you like to be the two special council nominees voted?
I really I've been friends with Von Frutton, and I know he's in this with me and he's newer. And we've both kind of talked about going up against really hard candidates. And really skilled candidates. But I honestly, I really like what he says in the spaces. I like what he stands for. I like what he can do. I've had that connection with him. So for me, on a personal level, I really like Von Frutton, to be honest. And the other one I'd have to honestly say is I've really appreciated what Aaron Haber has done for me. He's helped me from day one with, my AIPs, getting me information. He's been in the space a very long time. He's funny 50% of the time, but he's always helpful 100% of the time. And I love that about him. So yeah, I really like those two just on a personal level for me.
Okay, so can you give a final message?
Yeah, let me think here. So I truly believe in this position. I think it's going to be a crucial role and play a big part in the growth of the ApeCoin DAO. This is our opportunity to come back. I think a lot of people are looking at ApeChain. They're looking at these positions and they're really looking to see what we do. And there's a lot of focus on us. I love the pressure. I've worked in that and I thrive in it. So I welcome it. But it's all excitement to me to build and achieve something. And I know we will. And if voted into this position, I'll do everything that I can. I will listen to all of the community and I'll make sure that there's transparency at all times.
Powered by Dixo and ApeCoin.